So I want to introduce you to a lady called Perin Davey. Now, Perin is a lady who's lived one hell of a life, and she is now the Nationals Senator in New South Wales. She's the new whacker. I hope she doesn't mind me saying that at all.
Not at all.
Senator, congratulations and welcome to the telly. I always love this question, but with you it might be a very long answer. What did you do before you were a politician?
Which before? I have had plenty of lives. Immediately before, I worked in water policy. I worked for Australia's largest irrigation infrastructure operator before I then went into... I was a consultant on water policy because it's such a complex issue, and, you know, there are actually not that many people that are right across the gamut of it that can give advice to organisations and commodity groups that really want to wade through what it actually means for them.
But on top of this, safaris, army trucks...
I was an Army reservist. I drove trucks and did the stores in the Army Reserves. Fascinating time of my life. I lived in Africa for 3 years, cooking for safaris, yes. I worked in the Dorchester Hotel in London doing state banquets and served the Queen and Princess Diana. So, yeah, I've done a few things. You're
going to win the I've got stories to tell around the parliamentary dining rooms, right? They'll all sit there going, oh, and then I was a local councillor and I won this, I got this mayoral vote, and you go, anyway. So the Queen, this is what the Queen has with her soup, etc., etc. You talk about water policy, and this is an area that obviously we all know how important it is. In Western New South Wales, it's one where at the state election, your party was pretty aggressively punished, replaced by shooters, fishers and farmers people. We know that One Nation, a big part of their vote, and Mark Latham in the upper house, comes from wanting to do something about water. Now, what role can you play in smartening up the government to the reality that, look, it'll all be better if it rained, but when it doesn't rain, what the heck do we do?
And it is a really good question. And my goal in coming into Parliament with the background that I've got is to try and really focus on the facts. Water is so emotional. As you say, the state government, our party, we lost 2 seats. Ironically, we lost 2 seats on water issues with the shooters, fishers and farmers, but they were saying different things. Up in the north of New South Wales, they were saying we need more water flowing down the river and not going to production. And down the south, in my electorate, they were saying we need to give more water back to the farmers so that they can produce. So I don't know how that balances out. We really need to focus on the facts. There is no silver bullet. In the absence of rain, there's no silver bullet. But there is certainly things we can look at. We need to look at the management of the system. We need to look at the management of government-held water portfolios. But what we don't need to is to panic and to pander to emotion, which fixes things potentially today but could cause further damage tomorrow, which is exactly what's happened in developing the Basin Plan.
So it's this thing where... So you don't live in Deniliquin. Where do you live?
Carnargo.
Okay. How many people are there?
The town of Carnargo, maybe 30.
30?
Yes.
Right, OK, 30, right, OK, not 30, yeah. But so Deniliquin, 5 and a bit hours from Canberra, right?
Yes, that's right.
For those Australians that live a bloody long way away from the capital or the capital in their state, there is a burning feeling about that they're not listened to, they're taken advantage of. As a person who has all of this different life experience and then literally has the different life experience that, say, they have in North Queensland about how long it takes to get even to Brisbane before it takes to get here, how do you shape this place? How do you make sure that you get to be able to push back against what an inner city, on your side, Liberal MP or inner city Labor MP says?
And I have had the benefit of living in central Queensland too, just to add that.
See, I'm telling you, she'll have a story for everything.
I will. But it is so true, and really giving the regions a voice is what I'm here to do, because due to our one vote, one person constitution, which is right in theory, but regionally it's wrong in practice. Because for my local member, who is Susan Lay, member for Farrer, if you live to the west of her electorate, you've got a 4-hour drive to her nearest electorate office.
Wow.
But if you live in Grayndler, where Anthony Albanese is based, you can literally jog around his electorate in a day. And so our regional people do feel like they don't have a voice. They don't see their members often, and that's not the fault of hardworking members of all parties who've got regional bases, but they just can't get there. Whereas urban politicians pick their favourite cafe, sit out on the street, and it's like, oh, I see him all the time or her all the time. So it is vitally important. And it was so important that the Nationals retained a Senate spot in New South Wales because John Williams, Wacker Williams, did a fantastic job stepping up and being that voice and adding that voice to the Senate, because New South Wales Senate is now, we've got 12 senators, 10 of them are in Sydney, one's in Wollongong, and then there's me.
Wow. Wow. I want to talk to you a lot over the next 6 years, OK?
I'm more than happy.
If you've got issues that you want to get on the telly, gladly do it. And conversely, when we want to understand something, let's do it plenty of times. And maybe we can even go and take the cameras to the joint with 30.
Oh, absolutely.
That'd be awesome. Senator, congratulations.
Thank you.
Good on you. Her name is Perin Davey. She's part of the Senate. And she is going to be an interesting voice in the next little while. A fascinating story on and off the air.